Shout out to our sponsor, Blue Apron. For less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes with ingredients and step-by-step instructions that make cooking easy. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping when you visit blueapron.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley, and it looks like we finally got a confirmed launch date for the backward-compatible Xbox Originals on the Xbox One tomorrow. Microsoft shared the release date and launch games for the program, with IGN revealing 13 1080p enhanced old school games dropping with the program. Those include titles like Knights of the Old Republic, Ninja Gaiden Black, Red Faction 2, Prince of Persia, Psychonauts, yes, Psychonauts, I'm so happy about that one, and Crimson Skies. All it takes is putting the disc in, or if you own it digitally, that works too. Or you just buy them for the first time through the Xbox Marketplace. They're already starting to show up there, and if you haven't played Psychonauts, you owe it to me, you owe it to James Willems, and you owe it to yourself. Still in the old school department of Xbox, Microsoft also confirmed that a handful of Xbox 360 games will be getting updates for the Xbox One X, including Fallout 3, Oblivion, Halo 3, and the original Assassin's Creed. No word yet on the specifics of the enhancements for each title, but regardless, nice treat for Xbox One X owners. Also, heads up, Animal Crossing lovers. Yes, I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to me. Your addiction might finally be getting a next hit, just a little bit of a hit, judging by a new announcement from Nintendo that an Animal Crossing themed direct is on its way this week. Now, before you get too excited thinking, finally we get it on the Switch, no, this is for the mobile version of the game, not a new proper entry for Switch or for 3DS. But look, it's something, right? The Animal Crossing Mobile Direct is set to take place tomorrow, October 24th at 11 p.m. According to Nintendo, the Direct will last for a total of 15 minutes, so this is a short one, and they're not going to be talking about anything else for 3DS or Switch during that time. Now, while this is no doubt a little bit of a disappointment if you were really wanting another proper entry of Animal Crossing on a proper Nintendo system, but we'll take what we can get, and it will be interesting to see how Nintendo ends up adapting the game for mobile. I mean, if it'll have that magic or even a little bit of the magic. This week's retail sales from the UK are in thanks to GfK Chart Track, and it looks like despite there not being a lot of GT Sport reviews to speak of, plus there being a lot of reports about a lack of single-player content, a lot of stuff that you can't do offline, a lot of players jumped into the game anyway. It's currently #1 on the UK charts, topping FIFA 18, which has been ruling the roost for a few weeks since its launch, with last week's The Fractured Butthole hanging out at #3 during its debut. Really not #2? That seems like a missed opportunity. According to Chart Track, GT Sport did better retail than the PS3's Gran Turismo 6. However, GT5 still has the best physical launch of the series in the UK, pulling down more than triple the sales of Gran Turismo Sport. That's a lot of sales. Of course, it's had time, so we'll see. The Master Chief Collection has been broken for years now, and now we finally have more of an explanation as to why that is. About time, guys. 343's Frank O'Connor posted a massive entry on Reddit over the weekend, finally coming clean about what exactly went wrong with the Master Chief Collection and how he and others at the company feel about how everything went down. O'Connor wrote, "From a personal perspective, the MCC launch was one of my lowest ebbs professionally." He went on to say that they built the game, a massive undertaking combining multiple engines on a new platform with a lot of faulty assumptions about the scale and how their testing reflected the retail environment. Because of that, a lot of stuff broke, and once they got it working for the majority of players, they didn't know if they would break it all over again by continuing to tinker with it. He went on to say, "The fixes and patches we'd applied were pretty delicate, and we ended up in a precarious situation where there was no way to make more fixes without potentially breaking something else or making things worse. We weren't happy with that situation, but we were stuck between a rock and a hard place." Now, that may not be good enough if you're one of the minority who just straight up can't play it, or one of the many who still have issues, but we'll see if they make good on their new promises to fix the game next year. Now, there's been a lot of panic on the internet lately about the state of single-player games and whether or not certain developers or publishers are committed to them any longer. That's sort of been the case with developer Rockstar, who, despite working on Red Dead Redemption 2, which we're all very excited about and is going to be single-player, has left fans a little concerned after not releasing any Grand Theft Auto 5 single-player content post-launch, focusing instead exclusively on GTA Online. but according to an interview with Rockstar's director of design, Imran Sarwar, that was never the intention, it was just how things went down. Sarwar said in a new interview with Game Informer, "No, it was not really a conscious decision, it's just what happened." He went on to talk about the next generation version of GTA 5, how that took up a lot of company resources, as did the early development on Red Dead Redemption 2. He went on to say that Rockstar holds single player in very high regard, stating, "As a company, we love single player more than anything and believe in it absolutely. For storytelling and a sense of immersion in a world, multiplayer games don't rival single player games." You listening, EA? If you're itching for more Destiny 2 content, Bungie wants to assure you that there's more on the way. At TwitchCon, the developer revealed that Destiny 2's updates will be doled out in 4 yearly seasons, and they gave more information as to how that's actually going to work. Each season will have different themes and its own special items, which are mostly cosmetic to the annoyance of some in the Destiny community. Currently, we're in Season 1, and in Season 2, we'll see the return of the Dawning Winter event, which you might remember from the first Destiny, and it's got ice hockey and snowball throwing. Meanwhile, the Iron Banner Crucible event will also be held again in Season 2, and this time, you'll be able to buy its weapons from Lord Saladin directly instead of decrypting the engrams and crossing your fingers. Oh, and there's also a new multiplayer map coming in Season 2, which is always a good thing. We don't have an exact date for Season 2, but word is it will arrive sometime after the game's PC launch on October 24th, which is tomorrow, so very soon. It's gonna come sometime after tomorrow. Definitive. Another high-profile franchise is coming to the Switch, so get ready for some JRPG demon recruiting action. Very exciting. The next mainline Shin Megami Tensei game, Shin Megami Tensei 5, is coming only to the Switch. Atlus made the announcement in a reveal trailer today that showed people walking through a train station, and then we got a shot of dead bodies in a tunnel. Of course, Shin Megami Tensei is a legendary JRPG franchise, spawned a number of franchises like the Persona games, which are near and dear to my heart. While we don't have a release date yet, this is more great news for Switch owners who are quickly getting all kinds of crazy stuff to play on a shiny new console. We're very excited. Now just bring Persona, please. Anyway, please. Here's your no shit news of the day. The newest Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, is expected to make a bunch of cash at the box office. I know. We couldn't believe it either. It's a hot take, but will it do as well as The Force Awakens? Well, Box Office Pro projects that Last Jedi will make $215 million in its first 3 days in the US, which is a lot of money, but it is less than The Force Awakens, which raked in $247 million in its first weekend. Overall, Box Office Pro predicts that The Last Jedi will make $760 million just in the US. Again, that would be less than The Force Awakens, which made $936 million domestically. But keep in mind that Force Awakens is the top grossing movie in US history. So something tells us Last Jedi's it's gonna do fine money-wise. Even if it doesn't surpass The Force Awakens, it's still real good. And then if it does, everyone will just go crazy. Now it looks like not everyone is a fan of apples and emojis. I know, another hot take. A Japanese company named eMonster that owns the trademark for the name Animoji is, you guessed it, they're suing Apple. You might have seen the Animoji feature for the iPhone X or 10, which uses Apple's face recognition technology to transform your face into a moving emoji, which nobody wants. But not so fast, says eMonster, which launched an iOS app called Animoji in 2014 that lets people send animated emojis that are looped like GIFs. The company's CEO said Apple made the conscious decision to try to pilfer the name for itself. So we'll see what happens, but come on, Apple, couldn't you at least have word searched your own app store for the name Animoji before you announced it? I guess not. If your hearing isn't what it used to be thanks to all that loud rock and roll music, hey, guess what? Video games might be able to help with that. They solve every problem. In particular, puzzle games have been shown to improve hearing. Now, that is according to a new study published in the journal Current Biology. Researchers created a game that had players complete a puzzle by listening for clues over background noise that steadily got louder. And that test apparently had lasting implications in the real world. After 2 months of playing the game, elderly adults reported that they could hear 25% more words spoken under noisy conditions. Daniel Poley, who led the research, said, Every subject we trained on one of these speech and noise tests, their accuracy went up. I mean, this is science. Nothing is that consistent. That was a holy shit moment. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen video games used to treat disorders of some kind. It's actually a growing field, but this definitely sounds like one of the more promising. Maybe next we're gonna learn that, I don't know, Super Mario Odyssey's improved people's cat throwing and soul stealing abilities. Just kidding, they promise that he's not possessing anyone. All right, that's the news for this roundup. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get news from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to the know. Even if you do, I'll be gone for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to PAX Australia. So if you're an Aussie and you see me there, please say hi. Otherwise, I'm on vacation. Peace. Hey, thanks to Blue Apron for sponsoring this update. Blue Apron helps you become a wonderkind in the kitchen. They offer new recipes for you to try every week, and there's no weekly commitment, so you get deliveries when you want them. So if you're traveling, there's not a bunch of food just sitting on your doorstep, you don't have to deal with it. Every meal comes with a step-by-step recipe card and all the high quality ingredients that you need to make your meal in 40 minutes or less. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping when you visit blueapron.com/theknow. It's like free food, and there's really, really awesome meals too. Some of my personal highlights from the menu this week, there's seared steaks and mashed potatoes, because that's basically the 2 best foods in the world. Broccoli cheddar turnovers, soy marinated chicken tenders. I mean, come on, you think you can't make a fancy meal? I bet you can.